An old adage says, "The brightest lights cast the darkest shadows." This couldn't ring more true when it comes to the legendary British comedy duo Morecambe and Wise. They brought laughter and joy to millions, but underneath the spotlight's warm glow lay a series of tragic details. In this video, we peel back the curtain and delve into the untold stories and heartbreaking realities that shaped the lives of these beloved entertainers. Clash of the Wives. Though they remained celebrated as two of the UK's most cherished entertainers, Eric Morecambe and Ernie Wise experienced their share of turbulence offstage. Nevertheless, their iconic television show secured the 14th spot on the British Film Institute's list of the 100 greatest British TV programs. Graham McCann, author of a book on the duo, dubs them the most illustrious and best-loved double act that Britain has ever produced. But a rift simmered beneath the surface despite their meteoric rise to fame. The marriages of Ernie to dancer Doreen Blythe and Eric to beauty queen Joan Bartlett introduced new complexities to their otherwise harmonious partnership. Doreen reportedly held the belief that Ernie was the star of the show and that Eric would flounder without him, causing the two couples to lead separate lives off stage. While Eric and Joan quickly started a family, welcoming their first child Gail 10 months after their wedding, Ernie and Doreen remained childless. Upon Ernie's passing in 1999, Doreen divulged that the decision was rooted in fidelity concerns, as she believed that maintaining a regular sex life would keep Ernie from straying. The late Doreen, who passed away in 2018, also candidly discussed the complex dynamics between the two comedy legends and their wives in a retrospective interview. Defying the Odds. Despite a career that began in 1941 and eventually earned them the title of the most illustrious and best-loved double act Britain has produced, Morecambe and Wise were not initially seen as a surefire success by BBC executives. A recently uncovered letter from the BBC archives, penned by scriptwriter John Ammons in 1959, reveals that he believed Eric Morecambe would be more successful as a solo performer than in partnership with Ernie Wise. At the time, Morecambe and Wise were still 2 years away from their big break, which would introduce their unique humor and innovative sketches to mainstream audiences. But Ammons was skeptical and even encouraged Morecambe to leave Wise behind. The surprising letter described the future recipients of posthumous BAFTA Fellowship Awards as quite disappointing after Ammons saw them perform a show in Lancashire. In the letter, he expressed his doubts about Morecambe and Wise's potential on television after seeing their performance in Blackpool. He observed they were still relying on old gags and, in his opinion, often using the wrong type of material. He conveyed his disappointment as he initially believed the duo had a promising future when he first worked with them on the radio. But he found the situation more disheartening due to their apparent contentment with continuing as they were at the time. He also expressed his belief that Eric Morecambe would find great success in television if he could be separated from Wise. Morecambe and Wise began their careers as individual stars, achieving recognition for their stage and radio performances. But their transition to television was fraught with challenges. One such difficulty was the 1954 comedy show Running Wild, which received negative reviews from critics and viewers. Fortunately, they remained together, overcoming early challenges and securing their place in British comedy history. Fear of switching off. Morecambe and Wise, as closest siblings, spent nearly all their waking hours together due to work. But they had an unspoken agreement not to socialize out of work. Their rapid rise to stardom, however, brought with it mounting stress and tension for the duo, particularly Eric Morecambe. He confessed he was afraid to switch off, worrying he might never switch back on again. And as the one destined to be considered the comedic genius, he felt the weight of carrying the show. His restless need to entertain took a toll on his family. In 1968, he suffered his first heart attack at age 42, which left him appearing frail and elderly as he recuperated at home. It was then that his family and those around him realized the other side of his job and the changes that needed to be made to accommodate his health. Eddie Braben, a talented writer, revamped their onstage persona and added a new dimension to Morecambe and Wise. Eric became more mischievous, while Ernie took on a softer, dreamier role. It was Braben's idea for them to share a bed during skits, which became an iconic part of their act. In the 1970s, their Christmas specials featured an increasing number of musical guest stars, but the repetition began to wear on them. Their decision to leave the BBC for Thames Television in 1978, in hindsight, was a mistake. The lack of quality material, big-name guests, and Eric's deteriorating health took a toll. After his second heart attack in 1979, he underwent successful bypass surgery, and during his recovery, wrote his first novel, Mr. Lonely. He considered a future outside of comedy, but the fear of work drying up, instilled in him from a young age, prevented him from walking away. In the years that followed, his exhaustion was written all over his face. The once joyful rehearsals became arduous, and their belief in one another was tested. After Eric's passing, Ernie seemed to age considerably, only regaining some of his former vitalities in the 1990s when he began to reminisce about their past. Ernie's death in 1999 at age 73 came as a shock. It appears Eric's death had had a more profound impact on him than anyone realized. For fans, the duo lived on through constant reruns, but for their families, Ernie's passing marked the true end of Morecambe and Wise. Many episodes have been lost. Many episodes of classic TV series, including Morecambe and Wise, have been unfortunately lost over time. The high cost of recording tape during the 60s and 70s often led to the practice of wiping tapes to be reused. But reruns of Morecambe and Wise remain a holiday staple, gracing TV screens during the Christmas season. In recent years, efforts have been made to rediscover and restore episodes of iconic shows like Doctor Who and Morecambe and Wise, so audiences can once again enjoy these timeless classics. One such discovery took place in 2021 when Eric Morecambe's son, Gary, stumbled upon a long-lost episode in his attic. Hidden within a film canister, the episode was a significant find as it was previously believed missing and lost forever. Following its restoration, the episode was broadcast on Christmas Day 2021, continuing the enduring tradition of Morecambe and Wise Christmas specials. The show was a favorite of the Queen and Prince Phillip. Morecambe and Wise captivated audiences of all ages, uniting families and garnering admiration from numerous well-known figures, including the royal family. The Queen and Prince Philip were known to be ardent fans of the comedy duo. Over the years, Morecambe and Wise performed regularly at the Royal Variety performance, with the Queen later acknowledging her and Prince Philip's fondness for the show. The couple's admiration for the comedians extended beyond the performances, as evidenced by their involvement in unveiling a statue of Eric Morecambe in his hometown. During the unveiling, the Queen reportedly conveyed to David Miles, president of the Eric Morecambe fan club, that both she and the Duke held great admiration for the legendary comedy pair. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Morecambe and Wise? Do you still watch them on Christmas time? Let us know in the comments section below.